Hi, it's Melissa at Messy Missy Creates. I am going to make some gift tags tonight. These are some that I've been making. That one got bent. These are some that I've been making to put on my as I wrap my gifts this year. And I made these for like these are for my, what do you call it? The family. Okay, come on, my husband and my daughter basically. Anyway, and then these are the ones I'm doing for the rest of the family. That one got smeared a little bit, but anyway, these say do not open until December 25th, and on the back it says to and from, and I put Santa. So these just say to and from. But I thought I was going to make another batch. I'm almost done with my wrapping, but I thought I would bring you along and make this with you. I'm using a set. It's a stamp and die set from Honeybee Stamps. I got this last year. It was their Black Friday freebie, called Santa Express. I don't know if they still have it for sale or not, but this is the die set. It cuts out this tag, kind of a sack shaped tag. And I'm not using this. It cuts out, it's really cute with it on there, but I'm making so many, I just forgot to put them on the first batch. So it makes this cute little tie for the bag. And I kept thinking maybe I'll go back and add them to the ones that I've already wrapped and everything, and I just don't know. We'll see. Anyway, this is a stencil set, and I know this is going to be hard to see. Let me see if I can put them on the back of a piece of paper. Yep. Okay, I think you can see that. There's a Santa, a tree, a Christmas tree, and a deer, reindeer, deer. Like a set of 3 trees, a star, and then just some, what do you call those, like scroll type things? Anyway, I'm focusing on the deer and the tree this year. So, yeah. This is the stamp set where I got the do not open until December 25th, Merry Christmas, Santa, and to and from. It also says Santa Express, special delivery, and a big snowflake. And the die for the snowflake is here, and the die for the Merry Christmas is right here. And again, I'm not using those necessarily. I've already die cut out a batch of tags or bags on white and some on craft paper. And let me put this up and then I'll show you how I'm doing this. It's not difficult at all. Makes a difference if you have a MISTI. As you can see, I think you can see, I already have like stamp set here so that I can kind of mass produce these. And I'll show you as I go. I've got my inks, my Distress Oxides, and I've got little blender brushes for each. And alrighty, let's start with the deer. I think you can see that against my Teflon background. Again, I could do it on a white sheet of paper, but I want to see. I see the light glare here. Can't really do a whole lot about that. Let me see. Maybe I can adjust it. Nope, I can't. Okay. Well, if I remove the light, we won't. None of us will be able to see. So I'm gonna just try to keep my hand here, and I'm just using this is Vintage Photo. I have gathered twigs. You can use any kind of brown for this, and just going in with this deer. Now, the first couple that I made, I used, I made like, I did all the tree, I did them one at a time, and I realized that it was going to be a whole lot easier to do them in steps, like stencil all the deer and then go back and add the stamps for all of them. So that's what I'm doing. And same with the trees. Go back and do all the green. Oh, I know what I just realized I don't have, and I'll show you in a minute, but I think I can. Okay, well, sometimes if you're not holding the paper good, it'll shift. Yeah, this one might be a little wonky, but that's all right. I wasn't holding the paper good. I was just holding the stencil, not the cardstock underneath. He doesn't look bad though. So how are you doing? This is, I love doing things like this. Yes, it takes extra time. Did I have other tags? Yes. I just wanted to add a little bit of handmade special touch to everyone's gift this year. I got started early enough that I have time to do that this year. And so I did. You know, it's now if I'd have been smart, I'd have done like this part, started it back in the summer, you know, or, you know, at least September, October, but I was busy making fall cards and doing journal stuff and whatever. So anyhow, yeah, I'm also making Christmas cards too, but I'm only doing, haven't made any in a couple days. I'm really behind on those. I'm not as far along as I would like to be on those, but I still have a little bit of time. So I guess we could have made this Rudolph and put like some red nose on him. That would have been fun, but it just looks like a buck. Both my husband and my daughter love deer. They used to deer hunt together. And yeah. Last one of this. And then we're gonna start stamping these. Put up the ink. I'm done with the brown. Set that over to the side. I do wish that I had cut out that the little wrap, the little tie piece for the bags, because that adds just such a cute feature to it. Okay, I have my wet chamois, and it's great. It's a reusable, keeps you from using so many paper towels, and it stays wet for a little while. I keep it in this little bowl right here, and every time I go to make cards or ink something or do whatever, I just wet it, wring it out, and stick it in this bowl and have it on my desk. And it wipes up the ink really easy, and yeah. So now I'm going to, I want to do this one first. Right here I have the stamp. Let me see if you can see that. Okay. And yes, I know that ring is there. I'm so sorry. I can turn it off. I don't know if you can see, but we'll take our chances. That way you don't have to look at that ring the whole time. So right here, it's the stamp that says do not open till the December 25th. The reason why I didn't do my families with that stamp is because we get together with my extended family, my siblings and nieces and nephews. We get with them on Christmas Eve. So we exchange all of our gifts on Christmas Eve. So it wouldn't make sense to have do not open until the 25th on their present. I mean, you know, on their tags, right? So I lined it up. I stuck one in, lined it up, and then I don't have to move the stamp. This is the beauty of having a MISTI. And you can use this half, and then I spin it around and can do to and from here. So I'm going to use my red ink. Just ink it up. I don't have to use the blender brush here. I just, it lets you get a good impression. You've seen me use my MISTI before. It stands for Most Incredible Stamping Tool Ever. And it really is. Okay. So I have that one. I'm going to let that dry and come through. And it's just kind of like a little assembly line. So, yeah, I thought I would just, I know that's not our typical craft on this channel. But I thought, well, I'm doing it. It's paper crafting, so I might as well share it with you. And it was easy enough for me to just bring you, oh man, I got my green ink on my red they kissed each other, and now I got green ink on my red blending brush. So see, it really doesn't take that long. Once I got it set up, once I established what I wanted to do, and yeah, now it's just kind of duplicate everything. Duplicate? Yeah. Need to let those dry though. Okay, and finish these. That one area doesn't want to get ink on it. I don't know why. And you see I have ink on my plate on my cover here. It's not because it's not going to completely touch the paper. It's not going to get on it. But if it bothers you, you can do this right here. There. And yeah, some people that bothers. It does occasionally. I have had it get on my paper before, but not unless you really mush it. So most of the time I don't worry about it if it gets on the cover right here a little bit. And so are you doing any special projects this month? Either for Christmas or just for winter or whatever you celebrate. I did not do this last year. I would have liked to have. I had the set, but I didn't get it until a little too close to Christmas. You know, to backtrack and do all my tags. So I didn't use it last year. I might have used it for something, but I didn't make my tags. So I also was going through my stash and looking for some small, you know, because you can mix and match your stash. So I was looking for some other small stamp sets that I have that I might not use a lot because I don't use the real small stamp sets very much. Okay, so we have all of that. And so that's going to be something I'm thinking about for next year so that I can maybe have a different design. And yeah, so now I'm going to spin this around. And it's going to have my to and from. And I'm not going to put the Santa on there because I want Santa in red and I want to and from in black. So you'll see I just flip-flopped my, there we go. Now you can see it. So it says to and from. And as long as you line your paper or your tag or your card or whatever it is, as long as you line it up in the same spot every time, like tucked in that little corner, it'll fall right in the right place every time. So it makes stamping so much more enjoyable. When I first started thinking that I wanted to get into stamping and card making or just any kind of stamping, I did not have this MISTI, and I learned pretty quick that the frustration level, because it's hard to get a clean stamp on the first try all the time. So this way you can re-ink it. As long as you don't move this, you can re-ink it and re-stamp it. Like say that doesn't get a good impression, I can re-ink it and I can stamp it again. As long as I don't move this. So each time I tuck it, let's see, these are already done. And see, I just line it up in that corner. I put my little magnet on it. Ink and go. And then I'll come back and I have another MISTI. I did get that last year. I saw the value in having a second MISTI. And I'll show you why in a minute. I still want, I think I want one of the smaller Misties. For things like this, it'd be perfect. Just these small little stamp, like readings and things like that. But anyway, but it's all paper crafting, and I love every bit of it. I love all the paper crafts. Okay, so I could keep going and go ahead and stamp those, but I'm not going to. I'll wipe that off. I'm going to put this one away. So I want to finish these tags. Okay, so on this corner of this one, I have Merry Christmas. You'll see this Misty looks a little different. This is last year's the newest model. The other one, they improved the door, and it's a whole lot easier to lift because it overlaps the edge there a little bit. So they made some improvements to it. Okay, so for these, I haven't lined up this Santa yet. So you get to see how I do that. And again, the reason why I didn't do it at the same time I do to and from is because I wanted this in red. So I just lined it up where I want it on the tag. That looks about right. I close the door and I pick up the tag. And you saw that it's sticky, so it lifted my tag. So I just line it back up in the corner. And I want my red ink again. The Distress Oxide is not like ideal for stamping sentiments. I mean, it's not horrible, but it's not like the best ink for that. But I have it in so many colors, and I'm already using it to ink the the stencils. Yeah, trying to figure out what I was trying to say here. So I figured I would just, instead of digging out more ink, I would just do that. And it's working just fine. Takes a little bit to dry. So does the black ink, the VersaFine. Now it is ideal for sentiments because it leaves a real crisp look to it. And let's see, I'm just trying not to overlap these so they have a chance to dry. And so this ought to do it. I'm doing really well as far as my gift wrapping. I have everything that I have wrapped. And that's a really good feeling. You heard me talk about in the last video or two, you know, because I wasn't feeling good and I wasn't sure what was going to happen. You know, I think there was at least a slim chance that I would have to have surgery before Christmas. So I was trying to get everything done that I could. But my goal, even before that, was to get all of my shopping done. And then have like the last 2 weeks before Christmas, 2 or 3 weeks, have those weeks set aside to do my handmade stuff. That was my ultimate goal. So, you know, with or without being sick or whatever. Okay, so I'll put that to the side. Let's look and see what we have. It should be pretty dry. So we have a reindeer on the front, or a deer, a buck, anyway. It says do not open until December 25th. I hope you can see. I know that the light, I don't know how much of a difference it makes, but I'm going to turn it back on for now. And then on the back we have 2, and I just put from Santa. Because for my husband and my daughter, that's what I've always signed their tags. So there was a stamp that said from Santa, so I might as well use it, right? So now I've got this, and honestly, if you really wanted to get creative with it, you don't have to put that hole in there. The hole is optional. You could do this and tie it, and that's really cute, actually. I wish I had thought of that beforehand. You can tie it and then leave this to tape to your present, but that's not how I've done the other one, so I'm gonna stay, what's that word? Consistent. I was thinking continent. I'm like, no, that's not, that doesn't sound right. There we go. That's kind of the hardest part, and I won't sit here and do all of that with you. But there we go. Isn't that cute? So let's put up the deer. And, uh-oh, good job. I picked up the lid did not come with it. So let me get the ink off of here. That's why I put this Teflon. Yeah, that's what this is. It's a Teflon sheet. Put those up there. Okay. So this one, I'm gonna bring back, if I can find it, bring back my stencil. I'm gonna do this tree. Now this is what I was talking about when I just said I forgot. I realized I forgot something. I want to make sure all the ink is off the underside. I think I still had a little smudge of brown ink. Yep. Because in order to do the star, I wish they had done these in 2 separate stencils, like the tree and then the star separately, but they didn't. So you kind of have to, if you want to do the star, like here I did it, the star in yellow and the tree in green. You got to tape it off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and I'm going to do all of the trees, all of the green parts of the tree, and then come back and I'll tape them and do the star. I didn't bring in my little tape, the little piece of tape I was using, but I've got some washi tape in here, so that should be fine. And it'll look splotchy to begin with, a little bit. But if you just keep working it, and make sure you get in all the little corners, and then be real careful up here where that star is. See, I got a little bit green in my star, but it does a pretty even, it's pretty even. So that's what I was saying initially. I was doing that part, wiping it off, and then doing the yellow part, and trying to do one tag at a time instead of doing them like assembly line style, and this made this so much easier. And I got through let me try that again. I got through so many more so much faster. That apparently was a tongue twister for me. So what do you think of this project? Do you have anything in your stash that would kind of work? Now, I did look for a small Christmas tree, and I would have colored them in, but I couldn't find one that was like the right proportion. And I like that this one had a star on it. It's, you know, a little more, it's extra work to have to go back and tape off the star, but I think it adds a lot to it. And, you know, the whole idea is just to add an extra little piece of, you know, hey, I thought about you, I took the time to make something for you, and I do plan on making all of my family Christmas cards. But, you know, let's say, for example, I don't get all my cards made, because honestly, my goal is like 35 to 40 cards for everybody that I would want to send them to, and that's a lot, because it takes, you know, it takes a good while to do each one of them. And I think I've got 10 done so far. So, you know, now my family, I don't have to mail it to them. I would just give it to them on Christmas Eve. So I have a little bit of time. My family being my siblings and, you know, the extended family that I was telling you about. And anyway, so, you know, I can go right up to Christmas Eve with those. But I definitely, the ones that I have to mail out, I want to get done sooner and get those in the mail, because you have to not only add extra postage to cards that are handmade if they have any dimension to them, and dimension being like die cuts and stuff like that. So it's not just the extra postage, it's the fact that you have to take them in and have them not hand stamped, they are non-machinable, is what I'm trying to say. They're not, they can't just run them through the little machine. So I did an experiment with a couple of cards last month, and it took a lot longer. So I have to be mindful of that. Okay, I'm done with the stencil. I'm gonna put it up. No, I'm not done with the stencil. You knew that, didn't you? Duh. Okay, let me find one little piece of washi tape. Don't need a huge one. You know what? I've got some sitting. It's on my table. It's taped to the front of my desk here. Back from when I did my first glue book. When I assembled my first glue book back in February. So I think it's safe to use that now. Now the tricky part is to get it where it covers up the top branches, but not the star. And then you got to kind of get the star lined up. And I kept thinking if I'd get the tree lined up over the stencil, the star would be in the right place. And you would think that that would work, but it doesn't always. So, doesn't take much ink on that. See, the star is crooked. How is that possible? I lined it up with the tree. Well, guess what? Somebody's getting a tag with the star falling off the tree. See, it'd be a falling star, right? So, it's better that I eyeball it instead of trying to line up the... See, that one turned out better. You can tell there's a little bit of green in the... where I, was trying to get those top branches on the tree. But at least the star is lined up right. So once you get it going, it doesn't take too long. And again, this set was from Honeybee Stamps. You can find, tag making, just a small stencil set or stamp set, and you could do the same thing. And stencils are pretty cheap. And you notice with that yellow, I hardly had to go back and hit the ink pad with it. I love those little detailed brushes. They make things so much easier. I got these from Simon Says Stamp. They're not that cheap, but you can get cheaper ones. But these are, I got them when they were like half price. So it wasn't too bad. All right, now I'm putting the stencil away. So, bringing back the Misty. And this is the Merry Christmas that I want to see. Okay, let me turn this one back off. Nope. Okay. I hope that doesn't make it too dark, but... Alright, so we're going to kind of do the same thing that we were doing before. And I'm going to stamp the Merry Christmas on all of them, and then I'm going to go back and do the to and from. And I need my black ink now. I'm using the VersaFine. This is a pigment ink for fine details, and it really does great with sentiments. Now, you can't use this one with, like if you're going to use your alcohol markers and color something, you can't do that. Well, you can, but it will smear. So unless that's your goal, and then in which case, go for it. Do I have it where you can see? Okay. And it's very the ink is very vibrant, and it's very sticky. So this is a good one, like if you're going to do heat embossing. It's a good ink for that too. But it does take a little bit it takes a few minutes to dry. So I'm going to be careful not to overlap those. And I'm going to try to keep up with the ones I do first. And when I flip them over to do the other side, I'm going to try to use those first. Anyway, so I didn't know if you'd enjoy this or not. Thought it'd be something a little different. And I figure the journal videos, you know, you see those, they're a dime a dozen. And I'm not abandoning that. I was making these, and I thought, well, this would be easy enough for me to bring in here to where I can video. So I thought I would bring you along. So you can let me know in the comments what you think. I know the last video, if I do them in order, the last video was something a little different as well. So sometimes you just got to play. Like if you're trying to get your creativity back or whatever, sometimes it's good just to let yourself play. And do something that it's not real thought-provoking. It's just, kind of mindless. Once I got it the way, it took me a few tries to get it to where I wanted it when I first started. Okay, here's the to and from. So I'm going to flip these over, and still using the black ink. To and from. I hope that was dry and didn't smudge. Okay, good. Do you think you'd try something like this? Do you have anything in your stash that you could do this? Now, you also can just cut like a tag shape, or what I thought about too is like a square or rectangular punch. Because a lot of the tags that you buy in the store, they're just square or round or whatever, right? You don't have to have a special shape. I just happened to have that. It was, like I said, it was free with the order last year for Black Friday. And I thought it was just absolutely adorable. So somebody is at my front door. Let's see. Must be a delivery, because hardly anybody comes to my front door. Okay. I think I am almost done. Here we go. Alrighty. And this isn't going to be too long of a video. There. I think that's the last of them. And this should finish me off for what, or plenty. Because I don't have that many more gifts to get. Or wrap or whatever. So, and again, we just take the string, and you can tie it, you can poke it through. You know how to do this. However you want to do it. I think this is the hardest part right here, is trying to get it. It always is, though. Trying to get it through. Well. Okay, maybe I should, yeah, here we go. Alrighty. There we go. And so, like I said, I won't sit there and do all that with you, but I'm going to go see who's at my front door. But I hope you enjoyed that, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for playing along. Bye.